Devi Pranamami Haripriya. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Namam Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Pishtaya Bhutale, Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Dinamne. Namaste Saraswati Deve, Gaurvani Pracharine, Nirvishesh Shunyavadi, Paschatya Deshadarne. Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming. Okay, we continue and hopefully we finish the chapter, most confidential knowledge. Okay, let's pay our obeisances to Shri Radha Govinda before we proceed. So we have been discussing this particular chapter where the 34 verses, I think we finished till 25. Yeah, that's what we finished till. And I'm hoping that everyone read the chapter and came. So Krishna starts the chapter by telling Arjun that he's qualified to hear about him, right? That he's qualified to hear about Krishna's glories. And what is that single most quality that makes Arjun qualified to hear about Krishna? What is it? What is it?
He is dear friend of Krishna and he is not envious of Krishna.
Yeah. So he's a friend of Krishna and he's not envious, right? It's not envious of Krishna. It's the most important thing. And then Krishna starts talking about who can hear about him and who cannot hear about him. And then he talks about his different potencies and Achinta Bheda Bhed Tattva. He talks about who worships Krishna, who doesn't worship Krishna. And then last week we discussed how Krishna is the supreme object of worship, not the demigods or not the mystic yogic process that someone may be attracted to. Yeah, they can use that if they're very attracted to that particular process of worship. Yes, but the center should be Krishna. So Krishna is the supreme object of worship, even if we are doing other things. So Krishna concludes the chapter by saying the glories of directly worshipping Krishna. Okay, so it's like, okay, he told first that demigod worship or mystic yoga or jnana yoga, you can use it if you're very attached to it, but then worshipping me directly is far more superior. So that's what we are going to discuss today, the glories of directly worshipping Krishna. Krishna starts by saying this, that worshipping Krishna is easy or difficult. Is it easy or difficult? Is worshipping Krishna easy or difficult? You need a lot of paraphernalia, a lot of arrangements to worship Krishna, or how is it?
No, Mataji, it's pretty simple.
How?
Krishna has made
How is
it
it
quite
simple?
easy. Because anybody, even if they're like very poor, also they can just probably offer, according to the shloka, they can just offer a flower or just a leaf or just even water. So they don't have to be really materially, opulent. So that we have to do, in a very extravagant way. Yes, Mataji.
Very nice, right? So Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yo me bhaktya prayachati tad aham bhakti upahrita ashnani pratya atmanaha. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. Now, Srila Prabhupada talks in the purport that in this particular verse, bhakti is mentioned twice. Right? Yo me bhaktya prayachati tad aham bhakti upahritam. So it's mentioned twice. And bhakti means it is translated as what? With love. Offers me with love. Okay, it's not just okay. Here you go. I've cooked the food and now you eat it. No, it is. It's infused with the love of the devotee, and then it could be as simple as very small thing like a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water. And Krishna says he accepts it. So a non-devotee will question how is Krishna accepting, because we are putting everything in front of the Lord, but everything remains as it is. So how is Krishna accepting? How do you say? He says I accept it, but how do you really come out of the sentimental value and really explain he really accepts it? How do you know? What is the proof that you have that he accepts? Am I audible?
Hare Krishna Mataji is his senses can do his any one sense can do the function of all the other senses. So he can just glance at the food and he accepts it that way.
Right. So, Brahma Samhita, there is this prayer, right? Angani yasya sakalendriya vrittimanti. So, Pashyanti panti kale angani yasya sakalendriya vrittimanti. Yeah, so anga, any of the senses can work for as other sense. So it's not that Krishna can only see by eyes and not eat by eyes. Just by glancing at the food, he can eat. Right? So Krishna himself is saying that he does it and he's not lying. He actually does it. But he will not do it if it is not offered with love. Okay, so how do we know that we are doing it with love? That we have to learn from the spiritual master, that we have to follow the process set by the acharyas. Because we cannot say, okay, yes, inherently every soul is loving Krishna and Krishna is loving every soul. Yes, inherently that is correct by principle. But it is not being exhibited because of the material contamination. So to exhibit, we have to remove the material contamination, and for that we need the help. It is like, for example, if inherently we are supposed to be healthy, like the state of being is being healthy. That's where we always, go towards that. How can I be healthy? Anyone here wants to be unhealthy? Wants to have, high blood pressure, diabetes, arthritis, cataracts, blindness, hearing loss? Anybody? Looking forward for all these things. When will it happen? When will it happen? Wrinkles on the face. Grumpy mood. So, because inherently the state of being is being healthy. But these things still happen. So we need help, right? Many a times to restore our health. Like that, to be able to do it with love to Krishna, that's inherent nature, yes. But it's not going to be exhibited unless and until we are helped by the external sources, which is the acharyas and the spiritual master. Okay, so remember that this particular verse, bhakti is mentioned twice because it is very important. And then there is an example of this, right? In Mahabharata, you know that story when Krishna came, Duryodhan came to invite Krishna for a feast before the war of Mahabharata. And Krishna did not say yes, did not say no. He remained silent. So Duryodhan took it as yes. And then he went ahead and arranged a grand feast with Krishna as the chief guest. You know the story? And then Krishna, being independent, didn't go. He didn't go. He doesn't owe an explanation, so he didn't go. Where did he go? There is Duryodhan with all this feast arrangements and elaborate function in honor of Krishna. So many preparations and so much entertainment and so many people to meet. Krishna gets up and goes to Vidur's house. And he knocks on Vidur's door, and Vidur is not there. Who opens the door? His wife. Now she's a devotee, okay? So she looks at Krishna and then she loses her senses and she's so happy that Krishna is standing at her door. And then somehow she regains her senses back and then she offers Krishna a seat to sit on. And then she's looking at Krishna's face and she forgets to ask him if he would like to eat something or drink something. But in a haste, she goes and grabs some bananas. And mind you, Krishna has a huge feast waiting at Duryodhan's palace. But here he is sitting without informing anyone with this Vidur's wife, and she is trying to gather her senses as to what she offer to Krishna. So she grabs the bananas and then she's peeling the bananas, but her eyes are fixed on Krishna's lotus face. Okay. she's peeling the bananas and she's giving Krishna the skin of the banana and she's throwing the fruit away. She peels, she throws the fruit away, gives Krishna skin. Peel again and again and again. It's not that, she figures out that she's doing it incorrectly, but no. Again, and Krishna is eating the skin. He's eating the skin. He's not even saying that you're not giving me the fruit part. You're actually giving me the skin. He's eating. So actually, what is he eating? What is he eating? He's actually eating the love of his devotee. Now there is, so many preparations and so elaborate arrangements, and Krishna being the chief guest, and here he's sitting with this simple devotee and eating the skin of bananas. So that is the power of love. So the love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead even attracts the Krishna, right? So he's saying that offer it to me. This is in contrast to, this is a sudden contrast to what we were discussing last week, that Krishna is saying, okay, avidhi purvakam, you're worshipping the demigods, but you're not worshipping with them with the proper vidhi, because out of all these worships, I am worshipped. Or if somebody is offering Brahman, or somebody is doing some kind of Gyan Yoga, but it's ultimately I am the one. But here he's saying directly, just give it to me directly. Okay, so what if we don't give to Krishna? What if we say, okay, Krishna is asking too much, he has given it to me for my pleasure. God has created this world for my pleasure, and all these things are given to me for my well-being. Why is he asking it again? It's like my father gives me money. He doesn't ask me again, what do you do with the money, or where is the money, or give back that money. Then why is Krishna asking again? What if I don't give back to Krishna? Then what happens? What happens then? What happens then?
Mataji, it doesn't matter to him at all, because there are many devotees who are serving with lot of love. We'll have to come back again just to understand that probably.
Okay.
There is
Okay.
a story, Mataji, if I can say.
You're audible. Go ahead. Go ahead, Nikhil Prabhu, you were audible.
Oh, okay. There is a story, Mataji.
There's a story.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
My computer was saying. Yes. There is a father. He has 4 children, and he brings sweets for all of his 4 children. And then the smallest child, he's also having his share. But then he looks at the father, comes to his lap, sits on his lap very, lovingly, and then he says, "Papa, you have not eaten. Would you like to have that gulab jamun or that sweet?" So although father has brought that, but the other 3 children, they are taking it from the father itself. But the 4th one, he is coming to the lap and offering the father. So the father will naturally have more love towards that child. He has treated, the mercy is, equal for everyone. But the love will be more for that child who is offering the father. So that's way, if we can take more love from Krishna, if we just simply offer him what he has given us back.
Right. So nice. Yeah. So basically, we don't want to lose chance of revising our relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So the loss is ours. Krishna also feels sad that we again didn't do the right thing. So again, I have to make arrangements for this particular soul to do the right thing. But the loss is more ours, you're right. And then he goes on to propose how we can go to him more and more. Yat karosi, yad ashnashi, yad juhoshi dadasi, yat tapasvasi kandaya, tat kurushva madarpadam. O son of Kunti, all that you do, yat karoshi, yad ashnashi, all that you eat, yat juhoshi, all that you offer, the dasi means give away, or all that you give away. Yat tapasvasi, all the austerities that you may perform. Tat Kurushva Madarpanam should be done as an offering unto me. Okay, so whatever you do, O son of Kunti, all that you do, all that you eat, all that you offer and give away, as well as all austerities that you may perform, should be done as an offering unto me. Now, if you link verse 26 and verse 27, Srila Prabhupada has a very famous lecture on verse 26. Okay, I do recommend that you hear the lecture. I think there's only one lecture where Prabhupada talks about toyam, right? This is Patram Pushpam Phalam toyam. So toyam, he's translating it as water here, but in the class he talks about drink, anything that's flowing or drink. And then here he says all that you eat, all that you offer, all that you give away, all that you do. So that means that the link is that one doesn't need to be a pure devotee from the get-go. Prabhupada talks about toyam and he says in your country, wine is very famous, right? So if a drunkard, while drinking wine, thinks that this nice taste is Krishna, one day that person will become a Vaishnava. You see, this is a potency of a pure devotee that they can bring Krishna even in wine. Because somehow or other, we have to remind ourselves that I am of Krishna, somehow or other. So in this verse, it's not that one has to be very, very pure or very, very elevated. No, Krishna is not discriminating. All that you do, let's say, all we do is, let's say, taking care of the household chores. Can we do it as an offering to Krishna? Actually, it becomes very interesting. Try it out today. And it becomes very interesting. Okay, the house is dirty. One way of looking at it is that who made the dirt, who brought the chaos, attack that family member, and make them do the work. Or says, okay, you can still find out who did the chaos, and you can still bring that person into the picture and say, you please correct this because this house belongs to Krishna and we are doing it for his pleasure. Actually, it becomes a kitchen can be arranged like that, or or when you go to work, you can do it as an offering to Krishna. My Guru Maharaj gave a very big document one time from a devotee who gave a seminar as to how to remember Krishna at workplace. Because looks like when we go to work, that's the place where we actually forget Krishna the most because of so many external distractions. So I read the document. There are about 25 points in that particular document. And one of the points that struck my attention was that somehow or other, remind yourself in your consciousness that I am here, yes, because of my own desire of the mind, but let me purify that desire by remembering Krishna at that moment, any moment. Okay. So following acts as an offering to Krishna. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, whatever austerities you perform, do it as an offering to Krishna. This is Nishkam Karma Yoga, right? So what's the difference in offering of pure devotees and us? Quality of devotion. Therefore, quality of reciprocation will be different. But something is better than nothing. Okay, don't be like all and none kind of a rule, because Krishna can bring us to all and none. Krishna can bring us to that platform within a moment. We don't need to go through so many processes, but we have to start from where we are. Okay, if that makes sense. So Nishkam Karma Yoga, we can become a Nishkam Karma Yogi even while sitting at our workplace or at home or living our regular life, just by putting a memory of the Supreme Personality of Godhead with love. So what if we don't have love for Krishna? Should I still offer? This is a question that can be raised. So Krishna in this verse says, whatever you do offer to me. The word bhakti or ashnami is not used in this verse. It is indicated that principle of offering to Krishna is itself very auspicious. Okay, so he's not using the word become my devotee or do it with love. Just say, give it to me. Which actually should make us feel that he is adjusting so much. Like we talk about working relationships and we talk about adjustments, right? Coming to a middle point in all kinds of things. Like say if you're raising a child, which I think is by far the most hard job in the entire creation. So there's so many adjustments one need to do and come to a middle or go through the stages and ages, ages and stages of their life while you're yourself going through your ages and stages. So we talk about all that, but we don't talk about it. So here, then you can draw a parallel that how much the Supreme Personality of Godhead is adjusting. And actually, he doesn't need to adjust because he's not lacking servants and devotees. He's not. We are just, 1/4 of the creation. This material world is 1/4 of the creation of the entire spiritual world, right? And in this material world, there are so many planets, so many galaxies, so many universes. We can't even count, like a mustard bag full of mustard seeds. And in those planets, ours is one planet, Earth planet. Now, and then in Earth planet, there's so many people, so many countries, so many villages, so many lanes, so many things. And here we are sitting very, very small, but Krishna is accessible. He's becoming accessible to each one of us personally. He's not lacking anything. We can't even account for how rich Krishna is. But try to account for how personal he is. Shubh ashubh phaler eva mokshayasi karma bandhanahe sannyasi yoga yuktatma vimukto mam upeshayasi. So in this way, what happens? You see, if you offer to Krishna all that you do, all that you eat, all that you offer, all that you give away, then what happens? Shubh ashubh phaler eva mokshayasi karma bandhanaha. Shubh means what? Shubh means what? Oh,
Auspicious. From
very nice.
auspicious.
Auspicious. Right? What does ashubha mean?
Unauspicious.
Inauspicious, right? Not auspicious. Phala means what?
Results.
Yes. Eva mokshayasya means what? Moksha means what?
Liberation.
You will become
Huh?
free.
Free. And karma bandhan means what?
From the
Bondage.
bondage of work.
Bondage of work. Yes, very nice. So if we offer or do whatever Krishna said in verse 26 and 27, what is the result? We actually get out of the bondage of everything. Shubh and ashubh phala. Okay, so then what happens if we get out of the bondage of shubh and ashubh? Then are we like hanging in the air? No, we're not hanging in the air. Then sannyasa yoga yuktatma vimukto mam upeshyasi. With your mind fixed on me, in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and come to me. Okay, so shubh ashubh. So when I was getting initiated, I remember my spiritual master saying, you see, generally 99% of the people come to Krishna consciousness so that they can have auspicious life. Okay, let's face the reality. I can have a very auspicious and healthy life, and I can become a very nice person in my life. I can become very clean-hearted and let my personality and face shine. Let me have a lot of knowledge. Just 99% of the people come like that. But he said, okay, you're gonna get initiated, but guess what? Yes, inauspicious things are removed, but the auspicious things are also removed. Oh my goodness, what are you gonna do? Are you still willing to get initiated? Because both will be removed. Okay, this 360-degree cleanup is going to happen. So, because both are bonding. Okay, no other class of knowledge teaches us this. No, but nothing. No, nothing. Just Krishna consciousness teaches that both are bonding. Okay, so and then what do we do if I am freed from both Shubh and Ashubh? Then what? Then I can think about going to Krishna and going to Krishna and be engaged in Krishna's service. Because if I'm doing some ritualistic activity, okay, and demigods will be pleased, right? And then I'll get the result. And then let's say if I'm a farmer and I do Indra Puja, he'll send good rain, different kinds of rains, and send a good quality of rain. And my agriculture will be very nice, so I will flourish. And I'll be very happy. So that's auspicious. Right, but in Krishna consciousness, I might not do Govardhan Puja. I'm sorry, Indra Puja. I might just do Govardhan Puja. Then Indra will become angry and he will send forth Samavartaka cloud, which is the cloud that has to be sent when there is a need for dissolution of the whole universe. The Samavartaka cloud. Then what are you going to do? And then the whole city will be flooded and everything will be damaged. Then what? Then Krishna will lift Govardhan hill if I'm with Krishna, and then Indra is doing whatever he has to do. But you know what the Brajavasis were doing, right? Under Govardhan. You know, right? You know that, right? The very sweet pastime. Indra was doing what he was doing, but what were Brajavasis doing? What were they doing? With Krishna lifting the Govardhan hill and then they were all surrounding Krishna. What were they doing?
They were putting their
They
lathis
were,
below that Golden Hill.
Yeah, they were putting, okay, they were trying to support Krishna out of love. Okay, what else were they doing? So they were partying.
dancing and enjoying, yeah.
Yeah, they were partying, right? 7 days non-stop party. Nobody ate anything. Nobody drank anything. It is all written in Srimad Bhagavatam. You could go and read it. All they were doing were just fully absorbed in Krishna. And they were just partying non-stop and nobody wanted, nobody prayed. Okay, not even a single soul prayed to Krishna for Indra to stop what he's doing. So Indra took 1 week to realize that what he's doing is not right and nobody bothered for what Indra is doing. There is not even a single prayer by single Brajvasi in the entire Srimad Bhagavatam that they are praying to Krishna. Krishna, please have Indra stop this. Krishna, please have Indra stop this. So this is the result of coming to Krishna, that all these things are not gonna bother us because we are with him. Okay, so become a sannyasi. Okay, and then this is a very interesting word. Samo aham sarvabhuteshu name dvesho asti na priyaha ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mai te teshu cha api aham. I envy no one. I am partial to, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. So we studied that Krishna is recommending that we offer offerings to Krishna, very simple offerings with a lot of love. And then he says, okay, if you don't have love, you still give it to me. And then what is the result? If you give it to me, then you get freed from the Shubh and Ashubh results of your activity. And then actually you become a sannyasi. And then he's saying how everyone can give everything to Krishna. How? Even if I'm not a devotee, sentimentally, how I can give? Because Krishna is ready to accept. How? Because he's not partial to anyone. He's not envious of anyone. And he's equal to all. But then there is this apparent contradiction in the next line. He's saying I'm not partial. So what is the definition of partiality according to our understanding? What is the definition? How do you understand the word partial? So I am partial. What does it mean?
Favoring one person more than the other, Mataji.
Yeah. Okay, like being inclined to someone more than the other, right? Or favor, or giving favor to one over the other. But in the next line, he's saying, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I'm also a friend to him. So how do we bridge this gap of apparent contradiction where he says he's not partial, but then next line he's saying he's friend of somebody who renders service unto him? What does it mean?
Mataji, the Lord is saying, whoever renders service unto me with devotion, like if you show me love, I will also reciprocate it.
Hmm.
That is what he's saying.
But what if we don't show him love then? Very nice. What if we don't show? So is he going to be partial? Is he not going to love us?
No, Mataji, he's just going to be neutral.
He's still going to love us, right? It's out of the love that we get everything we get from Krishna. He's right. He's yes, but he's so. But somebody, Shiva Prabhu, you want to say something? Anyone else? How do you bridge this gap? Go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, can I
Yes.
speak?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's saying, I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone, in the sense that he is accompanying each and every living entity as Paramatma in the heart. So, in that way, he's not partial. But at the same time, when someone with devotion serves him, he manifests in their life, he guides them, and is a friend to them.
You're making a very interesting point. He manifests in their life. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. Anyone else?
Like Mataji, the analogy is given here,
Mm.
like the cloud pours water all over the earth, rock, land, water, and everything. But for the devotee, Krishna gives special attention.
Mm.
He gives special attention to them. He
So that
loves them
sounds
more.
like he's partial, right?
But his mercy is same for everyone, right?
Mm.
The sunshine is same for everyone. The rain is same for everyone. Everything is same for everyone.
Mm.
But when he loves, basically he's reciprocating our love.
Very nice.
What we are doing to him is reciprocating our love. He's removing the auspiciousness and the inauspiciousness both, so that we are ready to go back to him.
Very nice. Nice. Thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, Mataji.
Go ahead, Prabhu.
Yeah, it is like where the Hebrew said rain falls all over the earth.
Your
So-
voice is not clear to me. Can you bring mic towards your mouth, please?
Is it audible, Mataji?
Yeah, better.
Yeah. So as rain falls all over the earth, so wherever the land is fertile, crops grow naturally. So it is like how much fertile we are, how much we reciprocate. So that was the developed relationship.
Okay, very nice. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, so it's not that Krishna is partial to a devotee who is who is actually trying to serve Krishna with with their abilities, but it's that they're more ready. They're more ready than other people to understand their relationship with Krishna, and that's how Krishna reveals his, or Anvya Mataji said, manifests his presence in their life, right? So it's basically the ball is in our court. Okay, it is encouraging each one of us to make a stride towards Krishna individually and collectively. And there is no need to compare one's journey to another person's journey, because he is very personal. He is personal to each one of us. So this case makes me feel very encouraged that, okay, we can go towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead by ourselves. Of course, we need association, and I'm not denying that's more vital. Association and the guidance of the spiritual master and the Sampradaya. But with that guidance, association, we have to walk our own path. Prabhupada gives example of aeroplane flying in the sky. If one aeroplane is having some problem, it's not that the adjacent plane can help this particular plane. You still have to navigate your own thing. They can provide support, ground support or air support, but we still have to do it. Like that, we can give support, but we cannot walk someone's path, right? So now if the devotee is going to Krishna, okay, and then they are trying to understand Krishna, but then some accident happens. Then what happens? Then what happens? Apichet duracharo bhajante mam ananya bhag sadhureva samantavya samyak Krishna. Vyavasito he saha. Even if one commits the most abominable actions, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated. So, and I'll do 2 verses together. Okay, I'll read this one too. Kshiparam bhavanti dharmatma sashva shantim nigachati kanteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashayati. He quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. So here says, okay, I'm trying to go to Krishna, but then I get allured by some external distraction, and then the bhakti takes a backseat. But then I again come back. The most famous pastime explaining this is by far the most famous pastime is Ajamil, right? By far the most famous. So then what happens? And so Krishna here, Prabhupada says the biggest line is accidentally. Okay, he does or she does something which is not in alignment with the principles of Krishna consciousness. But then they continue to engage themselves in Krishna consciousness. Then what happens? Then the person becomes righteous. But we cannot take advantage of this verse and do an offense to the holy name. Right? There's this offense. I think it's 7th offense. The holy name, to commit sinful activities on the strength of chanting Hare Krishna. The 7th offense. So we cannot be offensive. Ajamil was not offensive. He was not chanting Hare Krishna or doing his regular rituals and then doing the sinful activity at the same time. No, he was not. That's why he was given a second chance, like Namabhas. So accidentally something happens. But then we are still engaged in Krishna consciousness, that person is forgiven. But if it becomes a habit, and then we try to come out saintly after repeated wrongs, then it is not going to be feeding our bhakti. Then it is only going to be feeding our material existence. Okay, but the other part is, if somebody has done something wrong, but then they are engaged in Krishna consciousness and then they are trying, for example, these 2 brothers in Chaitanya Chaitamrita, Jagai and Madai. Now, they have done everything wrong. There's nothing right that's done. I heard Radhanath Maharaj lecture one time on the pastime, and Radhanath Maharaj said, Yamaraj has an assistant and his name is Chitragupta. Is it Chitragupta?
Yes, Mataji.
Maharaj was saying Chitragupta runs out of paper to write about the sinful activities of Jagai and Madai. Now his hands are hurting and they're committing so many wrong things that he's not able to keep up with the sins that these 2 brothers are doing. He's tired. Imagine how much wrong they have done. But after they took shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Srila Mahaprabhu, they stopped. Okay, they stopped and then they were considered as saintly. That doesn't mean that we give them a very high place and they become an initiating guru or something. No, then what were they doing? They were chanting Hare Krishna, but then they were doing menial services. Like they were just like cleaning the street or serving other people, very, very menial services, because a person really feels that they have done something wrong. Not like, okay, I did wrong, okay, I'm chanting Hare Krishna, now come and fall down on my lotus feet. That's not also the right attitude. It's a very widely discussed verse in ISKCON 930. My Guru Maharaj is a chief of prison ministry in ISKCON. Okay, so he talks about preaching to prisoners, and he talks about his interaction with different kinds of prisoners and how they come to Krishna consciousness. He said, you can't imagine the mentality of the prisoners because a common person does not have that mentality. He said once he was in West Coast America, one prisoner who had committed over 20 murders and had few more charges was took to Krishna consciousness with this prison ministry efforts. Okay, and then what happens? These devotees, they write letters to the prison ministry devotees. And Guru Maharaj said he received a letter from this devotee explaining an incident that there was another co-prisoner in that particular jail where he was. And incidentally, that other prisoner, when he saw this devotee prisoner, he recognized that this devotee prisoner had actually killed this other prisoner's friend. So he got very furious, and then he went and attacked this devotee prisoner. And then he wrote to Guru Maharaj, he said, if I was what I was initially, I would have knocked him down without even a second thought. 20 murders, 21st is not going to change anything. Anyway, you're serving a life sentence. So I would have knocked him down. But something happened that I just held his hand until the other people came and just took him away. And I was very surprised at my own self that how did I do it? So basically, the bhava changes, right? Basically, we understand that what is to be done and what is not to be done. So that person is righteous, even if he's sitting in the prison and serving all these sentences, is righteous. My best friend in Connecticut, Malti Mataji, Prabhupada's disciple, she lives mostly in New Vrindavan in West Virginia. So Malti Mataji connected my friend with this devotee who is serving a life sentence in prison and who is growing now old. So who wanted to find a suitable place for his deities, Garanitai. So Malti Mataji arranged and he shipped his deities from jail to my friend's house so she can serve the deities now. I was there when the parcel came and we were opening, and there was this nice letter explaining how attached he is to his deities and how he's unable to care because of the age and because of the jail. And there were so many, intricate things in the box, even the toothbrush for the deities. We were so taken aback with the bhakti and so beautiful marble deities they came out, which are being worshipped now at her house. So what I'm trying to say is that if somebody has accidentally done something, but they're trying to be righteous and then they don't do it again. It was an accident. But then they are chanting Hare Krishna, don't discard them. If we do that, Prabhupada writes in the purport of 931, if we do that, let's say if we still look down upon them, then we are not doing what Krishna wants us to do. Because it's okay, and then I think I have discussed about what is my realization was why Prabhupada uses the translation of pranashayati as perishes. Why is he not saying destroyed or dismantled or finished? What is uses perishes? I think I've discussed this, right? You remember it, right? Means the qualities still remain. So if a devotee is imperfect, Krishna considers him as saintly. Why Krishna considers imperfect devotee as saintly? Because he's properly situated in his determination. Okay, he quickly becomes righteous and attains the lasting peace. And now this is another controversy. This chapter is filled with, yes, it's filled with love, but it's also filled with controversial verses. Mam hi partha vipashritya ye api shiv papayo naye striyo vaishyas tatha shudras te api yanti param gatim. O son of Pritha, those who take shelter in me, though they may be of lower birth, woman, Vaishya, Shudra, can attain the supreme destination. Right? So the very famous controversy. Women, how come they of lower birth? Or so how is Krishna saying? that woman is of lower birth. So what is your explanation of this? Bhai, before you put me in trouble, I have put you in trouble. So now you tell me.
All the Matajis here are devotional Matajis. They are all elevated souls. They are not.
Also, you
So,
mean Matajis outside of this community are not elevated? Haha.
and whatever I say will come back.
Tell me.
Mataji, the restrictions in a female body are much more than in a male body.
Okay. Restriction. So that is why it is a lower birth, because the male has more freedom. I just told you a pastime where Krishna went when Duryodhan invited. Where did he go?
Vidur's wife.
And Vidur's wife. He went to Vidur's wife. Okay, I get your point though. Okay, what else? What is your understanding?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Can I speak or you want someone else?
नहीं बोलो सारे बोलो.
Yeah, so here actually women means, the class of people who are very attached to their families and, like you can say, परिवार आसक्ति बहुत होती है उनमें. Very much attached to their families, and because of this attachment they cannot make any progress in their spiritual life. So here women means it's not that a female body, it generally means a class of people who are very attached to the family life, or very emotional. And when you have these qualities in you, a strong attachment to the family, your intelligence also, is not awakened for Krishna consciousness, and that is why you cannot progress. So, and anyone like in the Vedic times, the higher birth or intelligent class of people were those people, those who were walking this path of self-realization. Those were considered, of higher birth or the intelligent class. And so here, it's Striyo, Vaishya, Shudra means like they are in the Tamoguna, more in the Tamoguna. So if you are in Tamoguna, you cannot make any advancement in self-realization. But if you are in Sattva Guna, you can make. So you understood what I want to say.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so let's understand this verse from two aspects. Okay, one is the literal thing that it's translated as. So striya, right? The word is striya, or Prabhupada is translating it as woman. So Vaishya, Shudra, okay, Vaishya or Shudra. So I have this resource. You don't need to get it because you're not teaching Bhakti Shastri. Once you teach, you can get it. This Gita Bhushan by Baladev Vidyabhushan Prabhupada. It's a resource. I don't read this. I only refer to it if I have a confusion about a verse. I'll come to it. So there it is, Prabhupada, Baladev Vidyabhushan Prabhupada is saying that who needs to be purified? Most sinful. And who is most sinful? Who lie, who are impure, or who have other disagreeable qualities. Right, so Vaishya, matlab, they are doing trading. They are not super honest, they are lying. Shudra, they have disagreeable qualities. And they are not very pure in their existence, externally or internally. Right, so Striya, okay, we're going to look at it from two aspects. One aspect is literal understanding, which is that of a woman. And then what do you do? So women by nature can be made, are not very, I don't want to say they are very sharp, because Krishna says his qualities in a woman in 10th chapter. they're very intelligent, more intelligent than a man, yes, but then they can be diverted. Because of the innocence, like a child, they can be distracted and diverted very easily. Right? That's why they need to be protected. That's what Arjun was meaning to say when he talks about Varna Shankara. When the men are gone in the family, the woman will become polluted. How come they become polluted when the man is gone, or a good person, good protective man is gone from the family? Because they have a tendency to get allured because of the innocence. Right, so that's one way of looking at it. That they're not the intelligence is not so strong because of the innocence which is very prominent in their existence. That's one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is the word striya literally means female, right? Which actually means material nature. Okay, it doesn't mean a gender, male or a female, but actually, literally, if you dig the word striya in Sanskrit, means female, which actually means material nature, which actually applies to everybody, every conditioned soul, because Krishna is the only Purusha, right? Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So now, in that way, everybody is of lower birth. Nobody is born high, in Kali Yuga at least. Okay, so in that way, Krishna is, well, I don't understand yet that what was the need to choose the word striya then? You know, he could have just used the word jiva or baddha jiva or something like that. I don't understand that yet. But these are the two ways that we can understand that. One is literal meaning of what a woman in general, like a gender, male or a female, what is happening. And why Vaishyas? Because of the tendency to lie. Why Shudras? Because of the impure habits. And then, but in core sense, the word actually means female, which means material nature, which actually means every conditioned soul around here. Okay, so but Krishna is opening doors to everyone. He's saying, okay, if somebody has done some abominable act, but if they're fixed in determination, they'll come to me. But not only that person, but others who take shelter of him. Though they may be born lower, okay, they also can attain the supreme destination. And so there's a reference given of 2nd Canto, 4th chapter, verse 18 in the purport, right? Where Prabhupada is elaborating the list of chandals, which are like dog eaters, chandal. Okay, so understand, oh Krishna. Even unqualified class also achieve Krishna by his mercy. Prabhupada has done so much for women, right? No other sampradaya gives second initiation or Brahman initiation to a woman. No other sampradaya. This Rudra sampradaya, Shri sampradaya, or Kumar sampradaya, or Brahma Gauriya Vaishnava sampradaya. No other acharya before Prabhupada also gave second initiation or Brahman initiation to women, even in Gauriya Vaishnava sampradaya. Prabhupada, being Prabhupada, has brought about that and has said that it's basically we are not trying to not give initiation to a very qualified woman just because she's a woman. There is a mataji in Vrindavan, Devi Shakti Mataji. When you go to Vrindavan temple again, ISKCON Vrindavan, ask for her. You know, she's American, but she's elderly and she lives in Vrindavan. And she has written a commentary on all the cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. Very powerful. You know, you look at her and then you listen to her. It's not that by looking at her, somebody you can figure out this is a powerful devotee and this is not a powerful devotee, but by hearing the person, right? It's very, very pure in her existence. And you just can't say that, you know, you're not qualified to be a pure devotee of Krishna because you're a woman. It's not going to happen. Look at Prabhupada's disciples, you know, how exalted they are. So basically, Prabhupada has gone against all the odds. He went to Western countries where nobody else went. He brought the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He made all these, you know, hippies into Krishna conscious devotees. He gave sannyas. He taught them how to do everything. He has done so many what is it, inqilab or revolutionary things in bhakti anyway. So why not this too? Okay, so even unqualified classes also achieve Krishna by his mercy, no distinction in different classes. This verse establishes that in devotional service, there is no distinction between higher and lower classes as opposed to the material conception. So it also indicates power of devotional service and pure devotee. Most simple man taking shelter of a pure devotee can be purified by proper guidance, even the lowest of men chandals. That's like Prabhupada's potency. And the importance of Vipashchitaha, taking shelter, one has to take complete shelter of Krishna. Then one can become greater than greater Gyanis or yogis. Pure devotee can enable people of lower classes to attain highest perfection. Okay, so, but if somebody is born in a very high class and has not taken the shelter of a devotee, a pure devotee, has not really walked that path of bhakti, then they also become lower class. There's no. Krishna says a non-devotee has no good qualification. In Srimad Bhagavatam, this verse comes, has no good qualification whatsoever it may be. They may appear very nice, very kind, very moral, very sweet, or very simple, but if there is no Krishna in the life, then there is no good qualification, or the verse goes like, the qualifications are of little value. Okay, so don't overrate somebody who is not in Krishna consciousness. That doesn't mean that we disrespect them or we look down upon them. It doesn't mean that. It just means that we bring our life back in focus, because I have to think of Krishna. One way of going around in material world is collecting garbage. Have you seen, okay, in Western countries, I think those of you who are in Western countries can relate to what I'm saying. But those of you who are not, I'll tell you, there's a street cleaning truck that goes around, okay? Our street cleaning truck has 2 revolving brushes at the bottom. So the truck is moving forward and the streets are getting cleaned. Just in India, there are people who like clean with hand, right? Broom and everything. But in Western countries, this truck goes around and it has brushes at the bottom. So it goes on. One day I was looking at the truck from distance. How is it cleaning? Is it just spreading the dirt? Yahan se utha ke idhar, just, or what is it doing? It does that too, but I've noticed that it actually sucks up something too, like a vacuum. So it just brushes, rotate hote hain, aur wo mitti utha ke it collects. So then I got the realization, I can go around in this material world like this truck cleaning externally, but actually sucking up the dust inside. So I can go around this material world, looking at other people and what all bad qualities they have, and then just vacuuming it in my consciousness. Oh, look at that person, how they talk. Look at that person, how they walk. Look at that person. They're not devotee of Krishna. Look, they're eating meat. Look, they're drinking wine. Oh my God, they're watching Super Bowl, right? So we can go around living like this, but actually we actually make our own consciousness very heavy. Now here, Krishna is relieving us from all these things, because he's saying somehow you see all these people, or you are one of those people, and you take shelter of me, you can also reach the supreme destination. So my realization was, this is given to me so I can remain focused. Got it? So I can remember. One of the best experiences of my life in book distribution was in Hempfest. I think I've told it many times, right? In Boston, we went to distribute books, and it was a marijuana festival. Like everywhere, different tents. I think there were 50 different kinds of tents. Teaching people how to smoke and eat marijuana or hookah, or, all those things. My goodness, there's so much passive smoke, so much. My throat still burns at the thought of it. But it was one of the by far best book distribution experiences. And that day I realized that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so merciful. We talk about his mercy, we look at him as merciful, we read, but you realize it there. You go there and get it. Okay, so Krishna, this is one verse in Bhagavad Gita which is repeated twice, by the way, 934. It comes again in 18th chapter Bhagavad Gita. Man mana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam evashyasi yukte vam atmanam mat parayanaha. Engage your mind always in thinking of me. Offer obeisances and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. See, he's so desperate. We should analyze this chapter and see how many times Krishna is calling us to him. You see, you become liberated, you come to me. You will become free from Shubh and Ashubh Phala, and you'll come to me. Even if you're born in a lower birth, Striya, Shudra, Vaishya, you become rightly situated, you come to me. Or if you are, somebody has done some abominable act, but they are rightly situated in their determination, they become a devotee, they come to me. How many times he has said, no, come to me, come to me, come to me. Because he really wants us to come to him. So worship Krishna directly as advised by Krishna himself. Engage your mind in thinking of Krishna, which means 24/7, by the way, not forgetting Krishna even in sleep. And how do we not forget Krishna in sleep? By engaging in Krishna's service while we are awake. Becoming his devotee, how can we become devotee? By cultivating love for Krishna. The love in scriptures is defined as service. Prabhupada uses the word love as service. And Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami Prabhupada in Chaitanya Chaitamrita also describes love as service. It's not a static quality, it's a dynamic quality. If you say, okay, I love my child, it means I'm doing something about it. I'm serving in a very positive manner to nurture their existence. It's not that, okay, I tell my son, I love you so much, and then you go your way and I go my way, and let's take a highway. It's not like that. Okay, so when we say become my devotee, or Krishna says become my devotee, it means cultivate love. How? By serving, by making a move. Offer obeisances to him by mind, body, and words. Worship him. Worship by Pancharartiki Vidhi in our Sampradaya. Learn that. In this human form of life, we can learn it. Dog cannot learn how to do arti, how to chant the mantras. Not hundreds of mantras, but some mantras we should know. Like, my Guru Maharaj came to live in my house, and then he said, oh, from Kishori, you wake up your deities, you don't chant mantras? So I have no idea what to chant. Then he taught me how to chant mantras to wake up the deities in the morning. You have to wake them up with a lot of love and affection with the mantras that they like to hear in the morning. So worship, learn it, because we can. Okay, so this is one of the favorite parts of this particular chapter, the glories of directly worshipping Krishna. Okay, so we learned how Krishna tells us that it is easy to come to him by just giving him with love and devotion, fruit, flower, water, or leaf. And then he says that anybody can come to him. Even if you're not a pure devotee, you can still come to me. How? Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you give away, whatever offering you're doing or status you're doing, do it for me. And then he talks about what if a person going to Krishna, he's not partial to anyone. That's why he's opening his doors to everyone. But what if a person going to Krishna accidentally gets distracted? Just stay determined. How do we how do we chant offenselessly? By keep chanting. It's not that we have to do something else. We keep chanting. We chant offenselessly. Okay. And then he says that that controversial verse of woman Shudra or Vaishya, that how everyone can come to him. And then he ends the verse by saying that, by saying that 4 things. What are the 4 things? Engage your mind in always thinking of me, offer obeisances, worship me, being completely absorbed in me, you will surely come to me. Okay, we finish the chapter here. Any questions, reflections, realizations, or corrections? No questions.
Mataji, I have a question, Mataji.
Yes, Netaji. Yes, let me go.
You have explained a scenario where a person who was initially sinful and took to Krishna consciousness and gradually become righteous. We also see many instances where a person is Krishna conscious, but something happens and he or she falls down and takes to sinful activities. What should be our attitude towards them? How should we perceive it? Like,
Well, you can take inspiration as some people teach us what to do and some people teach us what not to do. Right? So
yes,
I don't think there is a need to disrespect because it is more or less a war. You know, some people are going to win the war. Some people may take longer to win the war, but at the end, everyone is going to win the war. It may not, they may not, we may not become Krishna conscious, or they may not become Krishna conscious in my lifespan or their lifespan, but it will continue in the next lifespan. Once chanted Hare Krishna, no one is going back to material world ever. It's not happening. There's a word of acharyas. What should be our attitude? Learn that if I can become more serious in my own bhakti. Still don't disrespect. You don't need to. There is one general principle in life. If you cannot help other person to fix the problem, you have no right to find a fault. Then it becomes offense. It becomes an offense, and we are offending other living entity. There is a book by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I'm completely blacking out the name, but over there I was reading one time the 10 offenses. What is Bhaktivinoda Thakur Prabhupada's analysis and explanation of 10 offenses? And he was explaining, in general, if we are offensive to living entities, we are actually offending the holy name of Krishna. So actually, we are not supposed to offend any living entity. And what does it mean? Let's say as a mother, my child is doing something wrong. It's not that, okay, he's part and parcel of Krishna, I'm not going to fix his problem. I will. Then it becomes a duty. But if I cannot fix his problem and I keep finding fault, then I'm offending him. Got the point, Mataji?
yes, Mataji. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, so I think everyone has done well in their exam.